Hey, you're a spooky guy, Paul Frazier. Some people say you're a pretty spooky guy. Um, Paul Frazier. Some people say Paul Frazier, you're a spooky little guy. I would completely disagree with that. You know why I would disagree with it? Because with spookiness, there's an ounce of mystery, and there's no mystery about me. I lay it all out onto the floor. I'm a real transparent guy, buddy. I'm a real transparent guy, buddy. Remember when I talked about that before? Literally, this entire street was completely dead, bro. And then out of nowhere, freaking, as soon as I push record, freaking, here comes the whole camaraderie, our camaraderie guys. What? That's ridiculous, bro. But some people say you're a spooky little guy, Paul Frazier. You're a real spooky guy, bro. I ain't spooky, bro. I ain't spooky. I'm not that spooky guy, bro. I used to be spooky back when I was like freaking 16. Freaking, at the time I had like a friend. I had like friends, bro. I didn't have friends with an S, but it was just like this older guy who lived down the street, bro. And I remember, I actually, like when you have like a friend and you don't remember like when you guys became friends. You guys, it just kind of felt like it just kind of happened. You guys are like friends, right? But I remember exactly when I became friends with this dude. I had like this little nacho. I called it the nacho, but it was almost like a really fat skateboard with like a little handle. Here they go again. Here they go again, bro. Here they go again, bro. I'm not the spooky guy. They're the spooky guys. They're the spooky ones, bro. That's not me, bro. That's them. But I have like this little thing of that, you got like, it's gonna sound a little sus, but you would get on your knees and like, you had your hands on the ground and like it had like a little steering wheel. And I lived by this huge hill. Like there was like a massive like hill, and I would take it down the hill, and like this really skinny guy, he was like the complete opposite of me. Like he was like this tall guy, he was a little bit older than me. I think he was like, maybe he had to be like 19 or 20 at the time, and I was like maybe like 16 or whatever. And like he was like tall and skinny, and he had a longboard, and like that was like his thing. Like, he could like do tricks on a longboard, not like a normal skateboard, like on a longboard. And he would take it down the hill and just send it. And I remember I raced him on the freaking nacho, and I was a master at this point. I was a master at the freaking nacho, bro. And like, I took the wheels off of it and put new bearings inside of it just to make it go faster. And I beat him, bro. I beat him going down this massive hill. And and that was my friend. Unfortunately, like he was like I could probably call him like my best friend. I had another best friend who I called a best friend in high school, but like he kind of just like announced it that we were best friends, and we weren't like really best friends. But the guy who used to live down my street, he was probably like, without like any sort of labels, he was probably like my best friend. And I remember there were some times where I would go like a whole week without like going home, like, and we lived in the suburbs, like I grew up in the suburbs, and I think that it's a lot more painful because like, some people, they grow up in the ghetto and like they're a kid, and it's just like when you're a kid you don't really like remember the harsh feelings of like being through certain situations, like like if you were like a kid and your parents took you to Disneyland, and it's just like you don't even remember it. It's like you don't even like all those like amazing good feeling emotions, strong emotions, you don't even like. It's just like it didn't really help you grow up. But the thing is, I grew up like we were kind of poor. We were kind of like poor, but I grew up in the suburbs, and then later on in life, now I live in Los Angeles. Then now I'm living in the ghetto. So I went from a very high place to a very low place, and it wasn't a very very high place. Like, cause like it's not we were never ever rich. We were never rich. We were kind of poor, but we lived like I cannot say like we lived in a good ass neighborhood. But I remember like it was him and his brothers and his mom, and his dad was still there, but they were divorced, and he was just like with this other chick, and then the mom was also with like another dude. It was very confusing for me, and I had nothing to do with it. But he also gave me guns. They weren't like real guns, but he gave me paintball guns. And I do feel kind of guilty because like he used to smoke like a lot of weed, and like I was a kid at the time, and I still feel bad about this today because like I saw that like he was like, hey man, do you want these paintball guns? And like I thought that he was high, and I still feel bad about this, but I thought that he was high, and like, you know, when you're high or drunk, you're super nice, and like, you know, and I thought he was in that state of mind, and I told my little brother, I was like, let's get these guns real quick before like, you know, he comes through, you know, he comes to of like, you know, like of logically thinking, and I still feel bad, but like the thing is that he wasn't like high, and he was high. But he wasn't high and trying to be nice when he's high. He was literally just like, you know, he was actually just being really, really nice to me. And because I think it was like when we first like met, and like it was like this dude just kind of like hanging around, like, you know, I think he was like a grown ass man, like an adult. But it wasn't like that, you know. He was just like the best dude ever. And he gave us these paintball guns, and I had the paintball guns, and, you know, even like the next couple of weeks, you know, he was like, you know, hey, how are you enjoying the paintball guns? You know, and unfortunately, the reason why I think that he was like the last friend, you know, because I have so few friends, even like when I did have friends, but I had to unfortunately kind of let him go, which that was like the last kind of thing. No, after that was my family, but that was one of the things that really tore at my heart, kind of tore me in half, really. Because I had to, the thing is that he went ahead and had kids. He had children. And it just got to the point where I finally, like, you know, when you have like a friend and, you know, you haven't seen them in years, I finally went to his new house. He like moved to a different house, and like I helped him, and like, oh, why I was with the Spooky Boys is because like, you know, he was like into haunted houses, and I used to help him when I was a kid, and then like I was helping him when I was an adult of like, you know, making the haunted house, and I helped all day, and it just got to the point because like the girlfriend was just there, and I realized because she was just such a bad person, not a bad person, but just like we did not vibe at all, and I'm like, I can't do this, and I had to essentially, sounds weird, I don't know, break off that relationship, like break up with my damn best friend because he had to go ahead and get some bitch pregnant. And then ended it horribly. And I had to say goodbye, and I don't plan to go back. The only reason why I would ever go back is to like gift him with like, if I ever became like a millionaire, is to gift him with like $1 million. That's the only way that I will ever go back to my family, back to that friend, is only if I become a millionaire, and I realize that that's not going to happen. So I just have to kind of like move along and kind of like do me. And what I've been doing, bro, is happening. It's happening, and I'm going to keep on updating you guys. I'm not going to say anything about it right now, but things are getting better. Things are getting better, and I can't wait to tell you guys about them. But I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.